In FC24, EA are going to be giving us a brand new game mode called Mastery, a part of the FUT Academy that is going to change the way we play FIFA forever. And of course, when I say FIFA, I don't mean FIFA anymore. I mean EAFC 24, or as EA call it, FC24. So get used to the new name. So what is the new mode, the Mastery mode, and the FUT Academy? In essence, it is a way to upgrade your players. Now, whilst we don't have the absolute finite details of exactly how this is going to work, our main man Donk, among a few others, have given us as much information as we can get. And we're going to take you through the history of how this already used to be in FIFA, how I pitched this back in 2018 to be in FIFA, and how it's going to be one of the greatest things because of the teams you're going to see at the end of this video. So first of all, what does Donk say about the new mode? He says, new game mode coming, Mastery. In FUT Academy game mode, a new Mastery objective system upgrades players. With Mastery, you can upgrade any player who fits the quest restrictions, which is the first thing to talk about with regards to what players are going to be able to be eligible and how much can they be upgraded. And we'll get back to that in a moment. But he says it makes the card untradeable, however kind of expected though, and I don't think that's a problem at all. And then he says, over time, the restriction will go up, allowing the top meta players to get upgraded if you want. There will be multiple different quests and ways of upgrading, updates regularly across the game year. And the way I interpret that, at least from the information that he's got, is that the restriction initially to upgrade people will be like, you know, maximum 86 rated, and you can get them to a maximum of 86 rated. Then as the game cycle goes on and the power curve increases, that will change to maximum of 88 rated or maximum of 90 rated, and so on and so forth. And the reason why that will be important is because we don't want to be in a situation that we feel like we've been in FIFA 23, where the power curve from day one just peaks massively, and it takes a big shift in the game to actually influence anything from then. The reason why EA won't allow you to just grab a bronze 50 rated card and instantly, or like grind infinitely to make him like a 95 rated card, is because somebody will figure out a way how to do it incredibly efficiently, and they'll, you know, everyone will be running around with 95 rated teams 3 weeks into the game, and that will just be bad for the game in general. So I don't mind the fact that we're going to have limits on how high they can go over time. I think it's sensible, but I do think that it's still a brilliant thing for the game overall. The last thing Donk says is that the aim is to allow cards and players who people often find not usable to be usable. Players upgraded should get a new card design when completed, which again suggests that there is a card type like there is in 2K with the evolution cards, where you get this card, they can be upgraded to a certain amount, and then once done, you get the brand new design. Some certain quests might cost coins or points to use also. Make sure to follow for more. And this again is really important to note, because the question becomes, if EA are giving us a way to upgrade our cards via gameplay, you know, whatever that may be, why would anyone buy packs? If instead of packing Ronaldo, you can just go and take your gold Dominic Calvert-Lewin and upgrade him to a 90 rated card with 5-star, 5-star and insane stats, why would you ever buy a pack again? And so there's definitely going to have to be something that incentivizes people still to not just upgrade these players, and that might be them hitting their limit and being a specific card type that you can only upgrade a certain amount. And I do think that that would be bad overall, because I think we've had that in previous years. And one of the screenshots that I saw for like a prospective EAFC 24 Academy player was, for example, Matoma. And this is literally what we have or have had in FIFA in previous years, right? Getting a low-rated card version of the card, play 50, score 50, you get a high-rated version of the card. Play 100, score 100, you get a high-rated version of the card, and you don't actually upgrade your card, and then you hit a limit, and that limit of that player typically, generally, has always been somebody that is below the power curve for a reason. And so for me, guys, it would be very important that every card would have access to the ability to be upgraded. And although over time they might hit their limits, as EA continually develop the game throughout the game cycle, those limits will be raised and you will be able to get your cards to the highest rating that you want to get them to. And the reason why I think that's important is because there are a lot of people that would love to use their like local team or players that they love, players that they know, perhaps players that they have enjoyed in previous years that they want to bring back. And, you know, we've got some players that use like Mario Gomez for thousands of games per season and they get nothing for it. So for me, it's important that every player has the capability to be upgraded to a good step, to being meta. And as Donk says here as well, he does say the aim is to allow cards and players who people often find not usable to be usable. And I read somewhere as well, might have even been with Donk here, how it's even upgrading meta cards is going to be possible, which is very good. Now, back in FIFA 18, I made a video 5 years ago now. The date this video was made was April the 4th, 2018. So 5 years, 1 month, and 14 days ago, I made a video showcasing something that I thought would be incredible in FIFA, and that is basically having the ability to upgrade every single player in FIFA based on some really simple criteria. And I picked Giroud as that option because, you know, even though he was at Chelsea this season, I love Giroud. I think as everybody that watches my content knows, I'm a big fan of Giroud. Every time he gets a special card that's usable in game, I do use it. But I want to be able to take someone like Giroud, and first of all, I want to be able to change their work rates. I don't know why we can't change players' work rates to fix our custom team, our ultimate team, but also increasing their weak foot and skill moves. You can definitely make that argument of, but then it's not realistic. Nothing about Ultimate Team is realistic, right? There is very, very little that's realistic anyway. When you have players that get like foot birthday cards or out of position cards or winter wild cards, the whole like idea of realism is out the window. So let's have fun, right? So the way I proposed this back in 2018 is that you can upgrade players' stats by doing a specific amount of challenges. And this was just like a working concept of how it would look in game. Of course, the game has changed in terms of visualization massively over the last 5 years anyway, and I expect FC24 to be even more. I don't think EA want FC24 to look like FIFA 23, so I think we're going to see quite a dramatic shift in the way the game is presented visually. But after going through what I looked at here, it would be some really cool things, not only for upgrading the card, but also for achieving things with the card. And again, this was something that was 5 years ago, and if I had to rework a potential concept now, it would be even different. But playing 100 games, 250 games for 1 acceleration, 2 acceleration, and maybe that's probably too many games for that much acceleration. Maybe it's not. Maybe completing objectives and completing tasks like we now have available in objectives and milestones would be better suited. Of course, we didn't have those things back then. We only had them this year. But being able to get somebody who has 50 pace up to 85, 90, 95 pace is not going to break the game in any way, shape, or form. And we'll get to why momentarily. But I also thought it would have been cool to have weekly and daily challenges to earn packs and coins and the ability to just freely play the game a little bit more through completing tasks. For example, in the day, scoring 10 goals for 1,000 coins. And the sort of thing that you would complete accidentally whilst playing the game and get rewarded for it, which, again, to a degree, we have this kind of thing in the game now via objectives and milestones. But they always seem to be like an arduous process where it's like people are putting together spreadsheets and methods of completing it in the absolute most efficient way possible so they can get it done, put it to bed, and then carry on with enjoying the aspect of the game they want. What FIFA needs to introduce, what EA need to introduce, is allowing you to not have to think about it as a primary thought to get done, but as something that comes as a consequence of just playing the game. And that's how I kind of levied that I would work it. And, you know, you could introduce daily challenge, score a hat trick, 500 coins. How cool would that be? Would it be difficult to implement? I don't know. The idea behind like multiple amounts of challenges was showcased in the fact that by the end of it, we got 3, you know, based on what I quote unquote completed in theory with Giroud, we got some nice little upgrades that made, again, not a real tangible difference to his card here, but if you could keep progressing this, The question I have always, as I have done with a lot of things this year over and last year as well, around SBCs and item releases and promo releases, is if you could take, let's take this Giroud here, if you could take Giroud with 54 pace and get him to 95 pace, who does it bother? Who's upset about that? Who's going into a game and being like, oh no, this guy's got a 90 pace Giroud. How will I ever compete with my Jairzinho, Mbappe, and R9? How am I going to compete? Nobody's saying that, right? The whole dynamic of Ultimate Team has changed. And I think it's important that with the ability to grow players through the academy, or I'm not quite sure what it's going to be called because it's in Foot Academy game mode, a new mastery objective system upgrades players. So it's a bit confusing if there's a brand new game mode with a mastery objective, or if it's called mastery, or if it's called Foot Academy. However, what a lot of people don't know, and that's because a lot of you guys haven't been playing this game as long as I have, because you're nowhere near as old as I am, is that in FIFA 09, you used to have your own player in the game. You can see right here, the 64 rated striker Gallagher, it is not an actual player. And you used to be able to create your pro, put him in the game, and through training cards, you could upgrade your player. You could upgrade everyone, but you could upgrade your player to a 99 rated player. I think this was a second iteration of Ultimate Team. I think they had a Champions League Ultimate Team in FIFA 06 or FIFA 08 that never really took off. And FIFA 09 Ultimate Team was the first one that took off. And what you was able to do was like build your team. As I say, you had training cards, and the training cards would be like +3 pace, +3 shooting, -2 defending. And that was okay because... and I don't think it was well thought out from EA, or maybe it was intentional, I don't know. But you could effectively apply all of the pace and shooting training cards until you got max pace and shooting, and then your defending would be down a bit, and then you could apply the defending ones because it would boost 3 and take 2. Eventually, you could level your way up to have 99 rated everywhere. And one of the most enjoyable things for me in FIFA 09, and one of the things that made me connected to Ultimate Team in the first place in FIFA 09, was having your own player in the game and being able to play with them. And wouldn't that be a journey again? I thought we were going to get that when Alex Hunter and... I can't remember what it was called now. Whatever the Alex Hunter series was, wouldn't that be a journey? I thought we was going to have a Alex Hunter in FIFA and be able to upgrade him. That never happened. But we have had the upgradable cards as much as you want under no time constraint before in Ultimate Team. Okay, it was 15 years ago. EA could not have imagined where the Ultimate Team franchise would have gone over that 15 years. And it was one of the greatest things. Of course, if you guys don't know, 2K do have the evolution system. And whilst the Evo system is good, the reason why I don't think it's what FIFA needs is because, again, you are getting capped on what you can do. You're getting capped on how far you can go. And the reason why I think capping people on how far they can go is stupid is because if I built an Arsenal team right now, the best possible Arsenal team right now, there are some really nice players in there. Gabriel Martinelli, Saka, and Gabriel Jesus are all good and meta. They're not end game meta, but they're quite good. Odegaard is okay. Jorginho is okay. Vieira is okay. Gabriel is way behind the power curve. Zinchenko's okay. Ramsdale is okay, but because EA have this random inability to upgrade goalkeepers' reactions when they give them boosted cards, goalkeepers like effectively play at a standard of their reactions. Saliba's a beast, and Ben White is okay, but of course, Ben White, Jorginho were both SBCs that if you started the game now, you can't get these cards. And so you'd be stuck with different versions, worse versions. You'd be stuck with the other Ben White card, which wouldn't be great. And so when the question comes as to who does it bother if EA allow you to just upgrade your card infinitely to the power curve and make it a testing process? Don't let me go into like 3 games and all of a sudden I've got a 95 Gabriel Martinelli, 5-star, 5-star, high-low work rates, all the best traits, and off into the sunset I go, never having to open a pack ever again because I've got my player. Make it challenging, make it difficult, make me think about it, make me enjoy my journey of actually upgrading my players. That would be a lot of fun. But the reason why I think it's really important for this to become a part of the game is because I asked for people's teams, right? We are at the 18th of May, and I asked for people's teams. And for the most part anyway, everyone has a collection of the same players. And those same players include a flashback Sergio Ramos, who has been in the game since the 20th of January, 5 months ago, which means if he's still in people's teams now, he must be good. 5-star skills, 5-star skills, 5-star skills, 5-star skills. 4 of the most meta players in the game. And in spite of Mbappe's rating, we obviously know he's like super broken. So when we look at this 4, if you come up against somebody who's got Ronaldinho, Rashford, Pele, and Mbappe in your team, you're going to go, oh my days, this guy is a sweat. And it's, by and large, a lot of people's team contains the same core group of players. As we look at another team here, it's another Pele, it's Saka, it's another Jairzinho, it's Ruben Diaz, it's Team of the Year Eder Militao, another Capdevila, and the third team that I picked, it's more 5-star skill players. It's a Cruyff, Varane, and Van Dijk who are overpowered, another Capdevila, the 5-star skill move, Diaby, and there is definitely something to be said that some people enjoy playing with different players, enjoy experiencing players that are at different clubs and different leagues, have different skill moves, different work rates. You know, sometimes you find that player where you're like, wow, I didn't expect him to be so good. Like, you know, for me, for example, playing with Julian Brandt, didn't like him at all for his team of the season, and it was nice to experience the fact that I just didn't like him. Whereas, for example, playing with Harry Kane's team of the season, I thought, wow, he's absolutely incredible. You're never going to have that experience if you just constantly have the same 11 for sure. But as a side project, as a way to enjoy growing your ultimate team, when we look at Cruyff or Van Dijk, if I was able to take the Gabriel Arsenal centre-back and slowly but surely upgrade him to the point where he was on a par with that Team of the Year Van Dijk, the reason why it doesn't matter is because there is already Team of the Year Van Dijk. And because this is a fantasy game and it should be about building your actual ultimate team and having fun, having people like coerced, especially if they want to play at a high level, coerced into using specific players because of specific characteristics and attributes, just removes a large portion of the fun of the game. And so I am very excited, guys, for the mastery mode coming in EAFC 24. I'm very excited in the manner that hopefully EA will get this one right and allow us to stay in line with whatever the perceived power curve is of upgrading our players. Because I assure you, at least from my personal experience and my personal perspective, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, but I know for sure it will have me playing the game a lot more. That is going to be the end of the video for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.